Yeah, we're gonna cruise tonight.
Not bad.
How y'all doing today? Let's go and get our claps in. Yeah, thank you for the claps.
Yeah.
Listen, tonight's show is: do kids remember the struggle or the effort you made? My name is Mecal. This is MecalsMilestones, and this is my brother Marcus.
What up, though?
Hey, so listen, we want to talk about this because it gets the lines get blurred a little bit. I will personally say they do remember the struggle, but it's see, us as parents, we even make the struggle look good. So most important, I think that they will remember how you made them feel about themselves. It's more than the struggle itself, because we can overcome. I remember when we didn't have nothing to eat and nothing to do, but we made a way, and that's just how we do it.
Yeah, same thing. I think that in that question, what do they remember most, the struggle or the effort? And a lot of times when we're talking about that, a lot of times we're talking about maybe finances, but it could be anything, right? It could just it could be conversations, communication, church, any type of thing. Do they remember the struggles that you always going through within the house, or do they remember the efforts? And I believe that it's whatever you did more consistent.
Yeah.
If you were struggling financially and you consistently came home and you was yelling, fussing, cussing, talking about how broke we are all the time, talking about we can't do this because I'm broke. If you talked about being broke all the time, then I think they remember that.
They're going to remember that.
So I think, and also, again, communication in the house. As far as the struggle of communication, is mom and dad, they always fussing, they always fighting. Like he come home and she come home, and I'm sick of this, right? So whatever you did more, however, finances might be an issue, but guess what? We got food on the table. We saying grace together. We making sure everybody's at the table at the same time.
Yes.
Those things, those traditions, those are the things that you can overcome. You don't have to talk about money because you're actually still doing what you're supposed to do. You're providing a roof over their head, food in their belly, and and somewhere for them to sleep, right? And so at that point, that's what they'll remember. They'll remember the atmosphere.
They remember that. And it's something that I don't say a lot of, but I have to say it tonight. We don't know how my mama, like Tupac said, his mama made miracles every Thanksgiving. We don't know how mama came up with Christmas every year. But I guarantee you we had some good Christmases. Yeah. We didn't ask questions. So in that point, I remember. But I also remember we struggled too. It was just that one day of the year that we just didn't. And you would be like, whoa, how did she do that? So yeah, and these kids, now I ain't gonna lie, they won't remember all the toys they had, how big their childhood home was, to the promotions you got at work, what kind of car you drove. But they will remember family trips, family traditions, life skills you taught them, and like brother said, consistency.
Yeah. That's why, like for us, I've always talked about how our family, when we grew up, we played ID War. That game lasts forever, right? Whatever struggle you in, the ID Club War gonna last longer than the struggle, right?
That's right.
But no, so we play things like that, domino, spades. Kids nowadays, like Uno is big right now for us, right? You can play stacks if you want to, whatever the case may be. But I'm just saying, like, those are the things that you don't have to even bring up finances or money. We just kind of come home, we're chilling, we're talking, somebody bring out the cards, and we start playing. Without that, like, those are the traditions that we've instilled into the household, where it allows us to continue to have game nights. It allows us to have different things and different functions. And you can see how we get excited about having a cook-off. And it ain't nothing. We ain't got to go get lobster and all that stuff. We can say whatever, you can do whatever you want with some balloon and a hot dog, and we'll have a contest with it, right?
Just did a fear factor.
Yeah, so we just did a fear factor thing, right? So listen, I'm telling you, it's those things. It's the atmosphere. It's the effort that you put into it. So if your effort is something negative, if your effort goes with the struggle, then I think they would remember the struggle more.
Yeah.
But if your effort goes into things like having conversations, right, and finding out, hey, what is it that you're doing? What is it that you like? Are you in this? What sports are we playing? Like getting together for things like that.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we can keep ourselves busy enough where we don't even deal with the struggle. Now, as parents, here's what I'll say. A lot of times, as a father, I have at times been in during a struggling period until I found out how to fix whatever I was at.
Yeah.
And then I come up with that answer.
That's what we do.
And I'll say this. Even though I thought that was okay, sometimes it's okay if they see some of that struggle and the answer.
Yes.
Because if I isolate myself so much that they see me don't hear my voice for a while, and then there's an answer, they might not remember the answer as much as they remember the silence.
Right.
So I think for us, I don't have to give them all the details because I won't. That's not for them. Some of these things we're talking about are for parents. That's for us to deal with. Mentally, it's for us.
That's huge.
Right? But for them, I may give them a little bit of breadcrumbs in it just to let them know, oh, we might be going through a little something right now, but it's going to be all good.
And I wasn't even going to bring that up, but our kids know too much now.
Yeah.
When we was coming up, well, you was seen and not heard.
That's right.
That was deep. Yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, always, they will always remember the mistakes that we made and how we handled conflict and how we treat others.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I do want them to remember some of the productive struggle we endured, because when kids learn, first of all, they don't have any effort, have no problem solving skills at all. When they learn that left will lead to growth, maybe they stop fearing failure and mistakes.
Yeah.
And that's where we're at now. I'm telling you right now, that's where we're at right now. They don't want to fight because they don't want to get their face bruised. They want to shoot you. They don't want to learn nothing that's too hard. They're not going to put any emphasis on problem solving. They want to be told everything. AI, social media, whatever. There is no problem solving with these kids no more. So yes, but I do need them struggle so they can learn a little bit. That's just my point of view on it. I made a lot of efforts and I made a lot of mistakes. And I know my kids probably remember a little bit of both, but I'll say the good overweighs the bad any day.
Yeah, absolutely. The effort that's shown as a parent is priceless. Again, when we're talking about the daily things, we're talking about daily situations. We're talking about weekly situations where you got to see there's a light when you're in that tunnel. Yeah. And they say there's a light at the end of the tunnel, right? Here's the thing. Is the light, am I complaining all day, every day, where that light at the end of the tunnel is really just another train coming my way and we're about to crash? Or is it truly the sky and we're about to be at the end of this issue and this struggle season and we're about to come out of the tunnel? Which one is it, the crash or the exit? And I'm telling you now, in many cases as parents, it's up to you to make sure that they see that it's the exit, that it's the sky, that's the light that they're seeing, because there is an answer for the things that we go through. And it's okay for them to, again, to know that there is something there, but for them to know that after that, we're about to come out to something better. Yeah. And that's what happens every time. Even though things get ready to get cut off. I mean, there are people out here right now that's struggling with gas right now. There are people right now trying to decide, do I have enough gas to work? Yeah. Right? And gas is high. The prices are high. And so we got to understand those things and say, okay, for the person that's in that situation, I know for a fact that, but they're still working. Yeah. They still did out. Still working. Whether it was somebody gave them something for Uber, somebody did this, somebody did that, or they did some extra something on the side. There's a way, right? We figured things out. And so that my thing is, I believe our children, they'll remember the effort over the struggle. Yeah. You just got to be consistent in what you show them.
You got to be consistent. I believe it too. And yeah. And I think that we're here because we're not perfect. We had to learn the hard way, still learning today. And so, yes, it's necessary.
Yeah.
All of this is necessary.
Yeah. And then my last point I was going to say was, a lot of times you got to realize kids, they remember more the emotional piece and whatever that situation is. And they'll hold on to that.
Yes.
So if emotionally they felt defeat, later on in life, when you bring it up, they're going to bring up something. You're going to be like, we was never like that.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, yeah. They'll be like, yeah, we were.
Yeah.
And that's because emotionally, they were feeling defeat consistently.
Right.
But if you just give them a hug, let them know, hey, I know that things look like a little tough. You don't even know how I'm going to pay for your senior dues.
You don't.
You don't know how I'm going to pay for you to play football this season coming up. I know it's $250 sign up, and don't worry about that. We got it.
We got it.
You go make sure you practice. You go make sure you exercise. You go make sure you stretch. You go make sure you do all the things you're supposed to do. So when that time comes, you will be stepping on that field.
That's it.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. Well, hey, Mecal's Milestones. Until next time, be great.
Let's be great together.
Yes, yes,
like,
yes.
and subscribe. Let's go.
Let's do it. Hey. Gotta love it.